Hi, we're out here on the range today, so bear with me if you hear gunfire in the background. You know, it seems like I say that a lot, but then again, I guess I do most of my filming out on the range while I'm shooting, not back at the office. But anyway, let me get to the point. I was watching a YouTube video recently, and there was some guy on there going on ad nauseum, which admittedly to get to ad nauseum didn't take very long. But he was going on about how 1911's suck. And he said a bunch of things, and he contradicted himself several times. But at one point he said that to take a 1911 like new out of the box and have it work correctly is as rare as a Glock that doesn't work correctly. Okay, well, I've assembled a few 1911s here today. Let's shoot them and see just how many of them work correctly. Okay, let's start out with a basic one. This is a Colt government model. Blued finish, hand-checkered walnut grip. Now this one was made in 2011, so it's a 1911 that was made in 2011, so it's engraved 100 years of service right here on the barrel. It's a caliber 45 ACP, and no, this gun is not new. I've had it for a while, but it has not had any modifications. It's just a straight out of the box 1911. Works flawlessly. This pistol belongs to a colleague of mine, and it's a Colt 1991 A1 Series 80. It has a matte black finish and rubber grips. Straight out of the box, 1911 derivative, and it works flawlessly. Okay, here's a different take on the 1911. This is a custom-made gun. The only writing on the whole thing, other than the serial number, is it reads right here, Colt Custom. It's polished stainless steel, real ivory grips, and it's caliber 38 super automatic. The thing about custom guns is because they're made to such precise standards, they can be ammo picky. And although it's cool to say I have a custom gun, a lot of times they're less reliable than the off-the-shelf guns. Let's see how this one works. Works flawlessly. That custom gun, that was not mine. That belonged to a colleague of mine. This gun also belongs to a colleague of mine, and it's a Colt railgun. It's stamped right on it, Colt railgun. It's a 1911 with modern updates, such as a rail system and an ambidextrous safety and a couple of other things. The ambidextrous safety is a good thing because the man who owns this gun is left-handed, so that's a real plus. But although it's got some updates, it's still factory made, out of the box, 1911. I've never fired this gun before. Just as I fired it, I noticed it also has tritium illuminated sights. And it works flawlessly. Now this pistol is mine. It's a Colt government model, blued finish with hand-checkered walnut grips. It's a 1911 that was made in 2011, so it's engraved 100 years of service. No, this isn't the same gun I fired a couple of minutes ago. That was a 45. This is a caliber 38 super auto. I really like the 38 Super Auto caliber, and if you watch my Paul's Top 5 Handguns video, I go into a little bit about explaining why. Off-the-shelf 1911, and it functions flawlessly. The last polished stainless steel 1911 I showed you belonged to a colleague of mine. This one belongs to me, and it's a Colt Mark 480 series. It's polished stainless steel, but the top is still rough so you don't get the glare. And instead of ivory grips, it's got these wraparound finger loop rosewood grips. A lot of 1911s come with idiosyncrasies. This one's no exception. I can't shoot this gun unless I also put on all the bling that goes with it. And not only that, I also have to change shooting jackets before I shoot this gun. And for all the fanciness, it's still an off-the-shelf, out-of-the-box Colt, and it functions flawlessly. Well, we're back in the office now, and as you can see, rounding up a bunch of 1911s that worked perfectly was not that hard to do. Some of those were mine, and some of them belonged to colleagues of mine. A couple of them I'd never even shot before, but they weren't hand-picked guns or anything. So you can see that the adage, a 1911 that works correctly is just as rare as a Glock that doesn't. That doesn't really stand up to scrutiny. Unless he was trying to imply that Glocks never work right, which is kind of silly because Glocks, whether you love them or hate them, are an extremely reliable handgun. That having been said, in all fairness, I got to add a couple of things. The big difference between any type of Glock or any type of 1911 is that Glocks are pretty much all made by Glock. 1911s are made by a wide variety of companies. Some, like Kimber, have an extremely good reputation. Some other companies, not so much. And I have not personally tested all of them, but I've shot quite a few. The guns I was shooting on this video, although they varied greatly in finish and grips and caliber and features, they all had one thing in common. They were all made by Colt. Keep that in mind. So, as always, don't try this at home. I'm what you call a professional. And thanks for watching the "Did you mean to imply that Glocks never work right?" video.